Hello friends, just doing a quick test of the microphone here before we get started. All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and get started here. Hopefully everybody is doing well today. So, I'm sure I will be repeating some of this as we go, but get switched over to the main screen here. And I think basically what the plan is today is to go through. We're going to do a few type cookers. If you've brought a pen and paper along with, you can absolutely follow along, hoping that you do. And I will have a couple things up on screen here as we go. Number one, I'll try and keep the type cooker recipe that I'm working on off to the side here. I do have another tab open if we're kind of feeling like we need some letters or some words to go through and work off of. I had thought about sketching today, like actual pen and paper sketching, but ultimately where I kind of landed on this is that I just felt it'd be easier to keep everything on screen rather than trying to manage a physical workspace plus a screen and everything else. So I also am thinking that if I'm working on a word here with repeating letters, I can kind of work a little bit quicker, so we're not taking up too much time on each type cooker. If anybody decides that we want to go ahead and add a timer, we can definitely do that. I don't know if I'm actually going to do that, at least for the first couple here while we work on a recipe, but we'll just kind of see where this goes. If you are coming over here from Instagram and you want to share what you've been working on, just go ahead and if you make a post on Instagram, just go ahead and tag me. I'm also kind of working with the hashtag cooking with type on Instagram. It seems like it isn't really being used that much, if at all. So I don't know how quickly Instagram goes through and updates that kind of stuff, but maybe we can kind of find a way to share what comes of this today. So all that said, hopefully everybody has fun. Hopefully this is enjoyable, and I suppose that's enough for me for now. So we'll just jump right in. So, before the stream started, I went ahead and just put together a type cooker here. For those unfamiliar, this is just typecooker.com, and if you reload this page, it gives you a different, I guess, type recipes that you can go through and then attempt to draw some letters or draw an alphabet from. I'm going to leave it on this one because I kind of like this one and I don't want to lose it, but you're free to go there and check that out. And for now, I'm starting with easy as well. I've done a few of the others. I haven't quite done pro, but I kind of like this because I don't know how many folks are showing up tonight. And for some people, maybe you want to keep it on easy mode. You really don't want to get too carried away with things. If you're a little bit more experienced with this kind of stuff, maybe you want to challenge yourself a little bit more and add a couple more constraints. But I figured this was just kind of a good place to start. As we go through with this today, if we decide that we want to change this and maybe make it a little bit easier or a little bit harder, then I figured we can just kind of do that as an entire group. So we're gonna hop in. All right. So right out of the gate, we're going with italic, which I think can be kind of a little bit of a challenge here, but should be a fun one. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go through. I'm going to do my best to remember where I set italic. Actually, I think it was under metrics. There we go. And an italic angle, of which I don't have one in particular in mind here. I know the general rule of thumb is 8 to 12, and I feel like lately I've been doing really italics, so we're just going to go ahead and set that to 8, and then I'm just going to do a couple other things. We're going to go through and we're going to set those to basically measurements or multiples of 5, because one other thing I've been doing lately that I like is switching the keyboard increment with shift to 5 and the command to 20, because I really don't find myself using 10 and 100 too often. So we'll go through, we'll do that. I'm not going to worry about naming this or anything like that. Everything else that you see on screen here is pretty much default glyphs. I just went as far as File and New and got the font info set up. So with that out of the way, I think what we're going to do here, I'm going to go over to my my random 5-letter word. So I just generated a list here, so I don't have to go back and you know, just continue to think about different words or letters. And I think I'm going to go with built, because that just seems super easy for an italic to deal with. Alright, so we'll leave that there, and we'll go back to this. So I'll leave this up on the side here. If you want to play along, I honestly can't wait to see what people come up with. But I'm going to dive in, and it looks like the italic angle did not do what I want. Let's try this again and put the 8 in the right place this time. There we go. Alright. So with that out of the way, let's start throwing down some shapes here. I think one other thing that I'm going to do, since we are working at a 8-degree angle, I don't know why I'd need both of those to be 8, but we'll just kind of roll with it. But at the very least, then I can go and just quickly make whatever letter I need slanted. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to start with the L here. And a couple things we're keeping in mind for this recipe is that it's going to be an expansion typeface, condensed width. So we're probably going to have to make this pretty narrow. Of course, the L isn't going to matter too much on those. Lightweight, which this is at 80 units right now. Maybe I even go to something like 70. Try that. Let's see what else. So we'll do serifs as the stroke ending. Can totally do that. Contrast will be high, which I think will look really nice. This may be even borderline stencil, for all I know. But yeah, we'll roll with that. One other thing that I'm actually going to go ahead and do is I'm going to add a new thing here, and let's call this... I remember all the steps here, but let's do serif.part, because I'm absolutely going to rely on components today, just to kind of keep things moving along. We'll go ahead here and just start working this out so that we have something the glyphs likes. Maybe we do something like this. We'll get this back straight here. What else can I do? I'm just going to give myself a little spot there, because then I can kind of go and do something like this. And assuming we did all of this right, we'll get this into position. I will add too that I'm probably going to be racing through some of this stuff for those who typically watch my channel, and you may be familiar with me kind of spending more time talking about what I'm doing here. Let's see, we don't want component from selection, we want to, let's see, it was add a component, right? And then auto align. I've already mixed this up, haven't I? Let's see here. Oh, here we go. Add component serif. don't want an anchor. Actually, here we're going to. Is there a word we're doing? Oh, hey Martha. Yes. So I'm using built right now as my word. I can put it back up on the screen here in a moment, but I did have a couple additional ones as well. We'll just go ahead and switch over there. So if you need a word list, there you go. While I go through and figure out why my component isn't working here. Let's see. So hopefully that helps. I'm actually going to go and let's see. I'm going to kind of cheat and go over and figure out why that was underscore corner. Is that what I need to do? Oops. There we go. Oh. I feel like I do this every time I start working on one of these, and there we go. Corner.serif. Let's try that. And hopefully this actually works this time. All right. Still doesn't want to go. I'm going to try this one more time. We did corner. Add corner component. Okay. Was I getting that? I don't think I was getting that. There we go. Add corner component. We made it. That was more work than it needed to be. And then it doesn't work anyway. Let's see here. I just need to maybe need to reverse my path here as well. There we go. Actually, let's do this too. I can just kind of edit this into place. I've actually never used these components on italics like this before, so I am trying something new here on a stream, which over the years I probably should have taught myself not to do, but here we are. All right, now I can focus a little bit more. All right. So Martha, hopefully you're able to grab a word off of there. Unfortunately, I don't have a super huge monitor. I'm only on a MacBook, so I'll go back to the type cooker recipe if you were going to be working off of that next. Perfect. And with all this out of the way, how are you doing lately? How's things been? It's been a while since I think I've last seen you on the stream here. Duplicating this one, doing additional serif. Ooh, broke ankle. That does not sound fun. That actually sounds super painful. Hopefully it's on the mend though. Fingers crossed. this way. Yes, it's a -100 thing. Alright. Yeah, boring. Well, at least it's not painful. That's good to hear. Yeah, I can't imagine how painful that would be, even if it's not super painful. I get this idea that breaking an ankle like that just doesn't sound fun to me at all. There we go. Now we got an L. We made it. Alright. Here we are. Add a component here. That flipped around. I'll also add while we're talking here. I did kind of figure out some unique ways to do composite characters for a lowercase I that I've been playing with. But I don't think these type cookers are going to be that fancy today, so we're just going to roll with this for now. Just so we can kind of keep things moving a little bit. Yeah, I think something like that works. I'm already kind of low-key feeling that the next one that we work on here is probably going to be a Roman character. I kind of came out of the gate with a fancy italic, which probably goes a little bit hard, but it's part of the fun, right? Alright, so let's see what we can rip off here. So we know this is going to be expansion. We know it's going to be condensed, so maybe we do something like that. That kind of gets us condensed-ish. Is that a phrase? Did I just make it one? Just kind of see what we can do here. I think we'll go with the 4. I'm going to use fit curve a lot today too. We're just going to be honest with that a little bit, but it's kind of an easy way to quickly get some curves going here, I felt. For those who've tuned in, is anybody doing the pen and paper route? Am I going to be the only one probably doing on screen? Totally okay if you are, by the way. I kind of knew going into this that setting up and doing things this way would probably be a little bit easier, so. More than anything, I was just excited to see the response on Instagram today. It looked like a few people were intrigued by doing some type cookers today, so fun to see who else shows up, or who has showed up. If you're being silent in chat, don't be afraid to say hi. see some familiar faces and all that kind of fun stuff. And just kind of make that work a little bit. And I think my plan for the overshoot here is I'm just going to move the whole thing down, and then I figure it's easier to kind of sort out the top after that. At least in theory, that sounds like a good idea. We'll find out if that holds up in practice here. Something like that. We're going to bring this way up too. There we go. So that means I have to redo all this again. Maybe something like that. Seems high contrast. Let's see what else here. Try and get that curve to behave just a tiny bit more. It's not really behaving. It's kind of even looking off a little bit. I suppose I could, we could throw on some super tool here and see. I know people always ask me to use this, so. I don't know if that'll get me a perfect curve. I also have to keep in mind this is just a type cooker too. Hey Kloppy, the word that we're doing right now is built. But if you're just joining, I'll probably come back to this a few times, or maybe as we go we'll figure out if there's a way I can have this up in the background. But I just went through and generated a bunch of words, so we'll just kind of pick from these as we go. And truth be told, I'm probably just going to be picking words based on how hard I want to work on the specific recipes. So, yes, glad to hear you're drawing along. Love to hear that. And just generally, how things been? Feel like it's been a while since we last connected. There we go. I think I just kind of killed off some of my contrast there. Maybe that's a better way. I don't know. Slow and steady. Nothing wrong with that at all. Especially when it's cold outside. Although I probably shouldn't say too much on cold. I live in Silicon Valley, and it's, I guess by most standards, it's warm out. So. All right. Do we kind of want to roll with that for high contrast? I think I might. I also don't want to get hung up on this too much, so. Also, those serifs kind of look a little on the chunky side if we're if we're being honest. I think what I might do here, we'll see how much this messes things up. Let's do that. Let's see, what does that go down to? 40? It doesn't mess it up too bad. We'll actually go and shorten these up a little as well. I may just have to expand these two if I can. Yeah, in theory, I think this might have been a fun idea, but yeah, in practice, not so much. That's fine now. I have to think there's an easier way to do these, though. There must be. She's gonna go ahead and nudge the ends in here a little bit as well. Yeah, I think that works a little better. I am kind of chickening out on the B, by the way. We're gonna completely own that. We'll just kind of see where this ends up, I think. So, for the T, let's see here. Kind of jump back to the recipe too, so we can refer to that as we need to. I think maybe something like that. Do I want to have a tail? Let's I'm gonna challenge myself and see how bad this looks. Maybe trim that up somewhere around there, or kind of do the same thing as we did with the U. Open both these up. Just a reminder while I'm drawing too, if you're hopping on, if you missed the start here, I was going to see on Instagram if it was possible. We do have cooking with type, which appears to be a pretty dormant hashtag. So if you do create something and you don't mind sharing it, that is what I'm going to be taking a look at a little bit later. So feel free to tag me, feel free to use that. We'll make it our own. Be fun to see what everyone else is cooking today. Maybe something like that. Hoping I can maybe kind of have that going a little bit more. Maybe make a little bit more of an elegant shape. It doesn't feel very elegant though. It's part of the fun though, right? I suppose that's for expansion. Maybe that curve can drop off a little bit sooner than I thought. Maybe shortening it kind of helps as well. Actually, for the sake of kerning and not kerning, I may just use my spacing strings to make this look a little bit prettier as we go. Yeah, there we go. Gonna get a mini preview. All right. Yeah, I think something like that works. All right, I've been avoiding it, but there's no avoiding it anymore. Gotta draw B now. And what kind of B do I want to draw? Don't think I want serifs on either side. And we'll see how much of this I can either reuse or not reuse. I'm kind of thinking it's not going to be something I reuse though. Yeah, I may just have to. Yeah, we're gonna go and draw a circle. Do it this way. I have to kind of think the folks who are sketching at this point might actually be done faster than me. How is everybody's progress right now in chat? Are you running circles around me yet? It's okay if you totally are, by the way. Kind of maybe expected that a little bit. It was 75. We'll go 80 just to give it some contrast. I was kind of loosely aiming for 40 there. Oh, you're gonna try and vector Martha? Holy cow. Oh, I can't wait to see what you come up with. There we go, that's what I was after. Now we'll rotate it, and then... Actually, since I can do this... be a little wide. See how maybe something like that looks, and then we'll maybe adjust from here. Let's see. Yeah, I'm feeling that's a little narrow. Maybe do something like that. Just kind of going off my preview down there. But I think something like that might work out a little better. I guess the side bearing on that side doesn't count since we're focusing more on the word than a functioning font, really. If I ever came back to this, then I'd probably spend more time making that a little prettier, but I kind of nudge it in a little bit more. Let's see, aiming for about 35, that's 31. Snaps a little bit too, which I didn't want. Yeah, ballpark. I'm trying to get those to line up. Actually, here, let's do this. Kind of cheat a little bit to get the desired effect here, but we'll also kind of have this notch in just a touch. I actually think if I do something like that, I probably could have this, oops, not that much. Yeah, we can just have that pop out just a little bit more. Kind of get a reset on all my points there. Alright. It doesn't look absolutely terrible. Room for improvement? Absolutely. But kind of kicks off the show, right? It does get a little thick at the joins for my tastes. But not bad. As I like to say, if you look at it from a distance, it looks beautiful. Maybe we'll get a little extra fancy just to... I know people, they either love this or they hate this. I've never found an in-between, a consensus on in-between on this. So we can all, we can argue in the comments if you like this or not. Let's see, I don't want to do that. Actually, I just realized I don't want to do that either. Around, there we go. We won't have it. We won't have it go so far. Kind of have a taper in as well. Maybe that's something like that. There we go. It adds some interest. Which is really all I was after. I think I'm kind of wondering, does it maybe go in a little bit more? Maybe that's the way to do it. Alright, so italic, high contrast, sort of. There's room for improvement, probably. Expansion, in a sense, yes. This is one of the things, and jump in and chat if you're like this too, but I feel like every time I do a type cooker, I just want to sit and continually tweak and adjust this to no end. But yeah, expansion contrast, condensed width, it's condensed-ish. Serifs, I think we nailed that, and lightweight. So there we go. So I'll take a break here. We'll just kind of let that be for the first one. But I'm excited to see how everyone else's is going. Else's is? I've got an extra screen here. We can see if anybody tagged anything. I also don't know how quickly Instagram updates these hashtags, but we'll find out. I think it's just one right now. It says it's fewer than 100 posts. And it looks like the only thing on there right now is a post from October of 2015. So I think we're in the clear for pretty much taking over cooking with type. Because I'm live streaming, I won't be posting any of these right away. Actually, I'll probably just make a carousel or something later with everything that we've come up with. And screen officially switches over to dark mode. There we go. So that's how we know that the party's starting. Well, if anybody does post anything to Instagram, just ping me in chat, and we'll keep an eye on this for a little bit later. As far as this goes, I think what I'm going to do... Can I duplicate a tab? I can duplicate a tab. Perfect. So we'll keep that last tab up if anybody needs to reference this. Actually, one other thing I'll do as well. I'll just take a screenshot, because every once in a while I go back and accidentally hit a button or something and then lose it. So what's the next one going to be? Let's see, we did a serif, so I don't know if I want to do a serif again, but we do have bold here. Some contrast. And feel free to chime in chat too if you see a type cooker that jumps out to you. I'll kind of wait on these a little bit rather than just zipping through. So if there's one that you like, we'll try and stop on it. We'll see if that actually works or not. And while we're doing that, just go ahead and save some stuff here. What else do we have? Extended width, translation. Kind of thinking just to change things up to not have serifs. And here we go. Straight, no serif. Expansion bold with visible contrast. Another condensed. But I'm kind of thinking that might be a little bit easier to do. I could pick a trickier word for this as well, I'm thinking. Maybe that's the way to go. For a simpler one like this too, we could also throw a timer on as well, if we want to add a little bit of fun to this. I don't know how people are feeling about a timer. I did have an app that I downloaded though. It's sitting in the background. I don't know if we want to do something like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Just shake things up a little bit. Could be kind of fun. Could even do 15 minutes. We don't have to strain ourselves here. But yeah, I'm kind of feeling this recipe for the next one. That could be fun. Alright, well, I think I'm going to go for this. What's my word going to be? Oh, and do I have... So it just says Roman. Roman condensed bold. Straight no serif. I'm just going to see... Maybe I can kind of get these windows to... That's as narrow as that one goes. Maybe I can do something like that. I don't know how much room that's going to leave for glyphs, but maybe that's the way to do it. Actually, can I hide? Can I hide the sidebar? Part of me feels like I could. I've never actually tried though. I'm just thinking the left sidebar too. If anybody knows how to do this, feel free to jump in and let me know. Maybe we can do that sidebar. I kind of wanted to leave that though for my for the different things I've got over here. Show info is probably getting into those glyphs palettes. Let's see, navigation, no. I don't think any of that's it. It's entirely possible I'm just working on a narrower window. Master Chef type edition. I love that, Valerie. Were you able to jump in on the first one or not? Maybe is there a word with an N and an O? Let's see. I've got brown. That is an option. And then we get some angled letters as well. That kind of adds a challenge. Enjoy. Is that the only ones I've got? I suppose technically about works. I know it's a U, not an N. Maybe we'll go with that. I'm also kind of just assuming lowercase 2 on this, I suppose. Yeah, we'll keep it. We'll keep it lowercase for now. Maybe this is the one we roll with. We're also going to... Maybe I do 15 minutes. I think if everyone's okay with 15, we'll go with that. And hopefully you can see on my screen the highlight as well for about. So if anybody has any questions, we'll... Ideally, we've got everything. Actually, you know what I could do? Rather than trying to cram all of this into one section, I suppose I can do this way as well. This is easier. Then that way you can see both the recipe and the word. And then I get some of the width back on my screen here. Alright, hopefully that works for everybody. We'll throw the timer back up here as well. So what I'm going to do, because I want to make this fun, is I think this next round we're going to time it. So I'm going to do 15 minutes, because I'm not exactly sure how quickly everybody in chat works. So hopefully 15 minutes is enough time. I'm going to work on the word about. And by the way, there really is no rules here per se. I guess there kind of is because I have Type Cooker and I'm following those rules, but if there's anything you want to change, if you decide you want to do a different word, by all means, go for it. I'm not going to stop anybody from straying from the recipe a little bit. So if most of this inspires you to do something, go for it. Oh, you missed the first recipe. Just here to vibe. Nothing wrong with that. Feel free to critique too if you see something, Valerie. But anyway, I think we're gonna go for a timer this time. We're gonna turn the heat up just a little bit in the kitchen. I think I can use that pun, right? If everyone's okay with that. All right. So I'm gonna hit start. So it's counting down. No pressure, but we're gonna see what we can do in this amount of time. And hopefully I don't box myself in too much on a condensed sans serif, basically is what this is gonna be. But I doubt that's ever been a problem, so. Alright, here we go. And we're gonna make it bold. How bold? I don't know. But it's going to be bold. And I think, yeah, contrast was visible, so we'll make it visible, I guess. Kind of work from there. So just for fun, I've been doing a lot of text typefaces lately, so you'll probably notice that I'm going to be spacing these rather close. And really my only reason for that is I just haven't been doing a lot of display faces, so we're going to roll with that. And out of the gate, I think that might actually work pretty well. And then back to a U again. We'll just kind of see where this leads us, but let's see, that is 4 units off, and I don't want it to be, it's 3 off, there we go. Just kind of line these up quickly. We'll see how much of the bottom of the O that I'm able to retain with this. Go ahead and do the same here as well. So I could go completely like that, but I feel like that's kind of, I don't know. I feel like that just kind of violates the spirit of doing it on a timer. I know I'm kind of doing an easier one too with this, so we'll see how much I can challenge myself a little bit. So, I know I want that. This is going to have to move over. Trying to get those to do something like that. Does that actually line up? It did, wow. Didn't expect myself to get that on the first go. So we'll connect these two. That's going to be chunky. How do I want to resolve that? Maybe something like that. I do 25 and 25. We'll see how that goes. Maybe I'll just bring these down more. I'm trying to think if I was doing this like an N, and I suppose we could kind of flip this around a little bit and just make an extra condensed N. This is an easier way to actually think about this. So those should all line up. I think they do. And just kind of resolve it maybe something like that. Does that do the trick? I'm thinking I want that to be just a little bit closer. Maybe that kind of, or it's just kind of more of like a notch there. Ooh, and I gotta keep in mind that I've got a timer going too now, so absolutely no pressure at all there. So I do want the curvature. Yeah, we'll invert it, at least for this one. And then bring it back. I think that was already good, so we'll roll with that. And if anybody was curious, it's Super Tool. I know that question comes up in the chat every now and then. Yeah, something like that. Seems good so far. Going to actually use this for the base of the B as well, because I think, yeah, sans serif when I'm not doing an italic, that's kind of easier to borrow from it then. Let's see here. We're actually gonna trim all of that open. Did I select enough points for glyphs to do that? It looks like I did. See what I'm going to do real quick just so I make sure I don't lose those, as we'll connect those two. That should all work a little bit better. There we go. Is it a B? Yes. Do I like it? I don't know if I do. Let's see here. I actually wouldn't mind if it kind of curved out a little bit like the O does. So I think for that to happen, it's gonna have to be something like this. There we go. I might even... Oh boy. I might even want that to kind of curve in a little bit more as well. And I still have an A and a T to do on top of this. This will be fun. Or do I just want to come back to this? Actually, that's also a thought. I may leave that for now. Well, actually, I can obsess about this a little bit more because I think I wonder, maybe this is a better way to do it. Just absolutely steal the center of the O. I think I can actually get away with that. That feels like I'm cheating a little bit, but yeah, and then just take these two corners, open them up. Ooh. And we'll just kind of move all of this in just a touch. Maybe? No, I don't think I want to. We'll just kind of bring these in a little bit more, at least just to give it some sort of contrast. At least that's what I'm telling myself. How's everyone else doing on this? Anybody else going for the time challenge too, or not? Was this too much? I think that works a little better. I'm going to be relying on Super Tool a lot tonight, I think. Kind of bring that volume up a little bit more. Doesn't look terrible. Doesn't look terrible, but it looks like this just needs to be a little bit thicker. Yeah, I think that kind of works. Oh boy, 3 minutes. Pressure is on. Oh boy. So for the A, just do that. Connect those. Everybody seems happy there, I think. Yeah, vectoring does slow you down a little bit, Martha. That's I can feel that pain. And of course, that had to be the route that I chose to go with right out of the gate too. So let's see, 2 minutes to make a T. Can we do that? I'm also just kind of going off the cap height here. Let's see. I don't want to lose track that contrast is going to be visible on this. I feel like every time I do a type cooker, there's always at least one element of the recipe that I have to be sure to forget. It's just not a true type cooker if I do otherwise. Coming up on 90 seconds. Definitely feeling some heat here. I kind of feel, I don't know if anybody watches like Top Chef or anything like that. I'm guessing Valerie, you might, for the Master Chef type edition. I'm definitely feeling it though. It's, that timer always gets you right at the end. What else can I do with this? 60 seconds left. Oh boy. We're gonna see if I can kind of throw a little bit of a tail on this, just for the sake of doing a tail, and because I just feel like I need to put some pressure on. We'll see though. This might be my demise. This might be my demise. Oh boy, I'm cutting it close. 20 seconds, oh boy. Yeah, I'm definitely not liking it either. 10 seconds. You know what? It's not going to be terrible. It's but it absolutely does not fit. And oh boy, there's time. Yeah, I definitely shouldn't have done that tail. Stepping back and it's like, oh boy, that's bad. Wow, my nerves actually got me on that one. I'm not gonna lie. We'll go ahead and stop that. Yeah, I'm not even sure if that was even being an expansion tea either. Is it cheating if after the fact I just go and get rid of this and we just pretend this didn't exist? That's not against the rules for anybody, hopefully. We'll just say that that's where it ended. That was kind of fun though. So let's see, it's definitely bold. I'd like to think it's definitely expansion. I see some contrast there. I think we could argue one way or the other on that maybe. Well, no, I think there's contrast there. Obviously Roman construction, and the stroke endings are certainly straight, so. Yeah. Another one down. How's everyone else doing in chat? I think a few of you were working kind of at your own pace too, rather than putting a timer on. I'm definitely excited to see what other people are coming up with though. So at some point I'll have to go through and check these out. Definitely gonna have to change it up a little bit though. That was 2 condensed typefaces in a row, so I think we gotta go for something a bit wider for the next one. Ooh, we could do some capitals. Haven't done any of those. That would be changing it up. And a normal width. Again, some contrast. Translation. I feel like translation's always a challenge for me. Actually, yeah, we'll do a new glyphs window. I wish there was a way that you could have all this preset, if I'm doing capitals, I guess X height really doesn't matter. There we go. So it's kind of interesting. I don't know if there's anybody on here who either has gone through Type West or is maybe currently going through Type West. But I know at the end of each week we always had to do a type cooker, and it was a lot of fun the first week or so when we were all kind of early on in the program. We had some time on our plates, and I had a lot of fun drawing them. Towards the end, I think I probably got burned out a little because I think we ended up doing a type cooker a week for almost an entire year. Because we also had breaks in between, so it was a 10-week sprint, or 10 weeks or so. So basically 30 out of 52 weeks in an entire year, but it kind of feels good to kind of jump back in and do these again. Actually having a lot of fun. Does anyone else in chat have one that they want to share? Not that I'm putting any pressure on or anything. It's okay to be shy too, but it's always kind of fun to see what everyone else is working on and doing. Also trying to figure out what we want to do for the next word. Translation. Martha, I think I was just aiming for like Instagram or something. That's the tough part with chat. I don't know how else to really share stuff per se. It's also a good way to get people excited about what you're working on too. I figured everyone always kind of enjoys it when you can post something on Instagram, and maybe everyone can go find Martha on Instagram and we can all like a post or something like that. While you are sharing, Martha, too, I have to say the Speedball series, I presume it's a typeface that you're working on. Yes, typeface. Of course, I had to go to the next post to see this. I'd seen a few of the letterings that you did for it, but this the Speedball Style 1 is looking pretty awesome. Can't wait to see how that one ends up, but it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. So if we're doing all caps, kind of wondering if sorry would be fun. I think the S would be a fun challenge. Hashtag we were doing cooking with type. Yeah, anyway, just kind of thinking ahead, just so we're not putting pressure on anybody to share. So I'm Thinking for this next recipe that I got up on screen here, I'm thinking... Sorry, and part of it is I wouldn't mind a challenging letter like an S. I think the O is kind of nice, especially for translation. It's kind of fun to show that off a little bit. Plus we can start getting a few simple angled characters in with the R and the Y. I know technically I'm designing 4 letters. Kind of getting a 2-for-1 deal on the R's there, but maybe that affords us a little bit more time to take a look at some of those other characters. So I think I may jump in. I don't know if I'm going to do the timer this time. Maybe we don't. Just keep it a little bit simpler. We'll work at this a little bit more relaxed pace. And maybe after this, if we're all still kind of feeling it, maybe we'll do one more timed one, maybe to end things. But we'll kind of see how we're feeling. Alright, so regular all caps, bold. I'm kind of thinking for this I might even go extra bold too, just to throw a curve here. Also, since we're not really dealing with lowercase, yeah, I'll leave the cap height at 700. That should be fine. And I know we did the kind of the square or square-ish letter form last time, so I'm going to try and stay away from that on this one a little bit. Maybe we go a little bit more of an expected character size. Something a little more. Actually, maybe a little bit more geometric, just in general. I think that's a fun way to do it. Try this on without the ratio being locked. There we go. Let's see, reverse contours. At some point, I should do a better job of memorizing that shortcut. That seems kind of bold. Let's see, what do we want to do for this? That's very square. Somewhere between 70 and 60. Still seems like a lot. Yeah, maybe something like that. So what do we got? 163 there. 173 there. It's going to be translation with some contrast, so I'm kind of feeling like add just a touch more. Maybe that's a better way to do it. Alright. And then to figure out a translation, a good way to draw a translation here. Actually, Martha, if you don't mind, I'm going to interrupt the stream a little bit because we are going to show off the awesome sketch that you were working on here. Let's see if we got this. There we go. That is looking pretty cool. Actually, can I zoom in a little bit more? Yes, I can. Get rid of the login widget too. For no reason at all, did not sign into Instagram apparently. But this is looking amazing, and I love those serifs too. They definitely have some pizzazz to them, and I kind of like what you were experimenting with off to the side as well. That looks like it's a lot of fun. Almost kind of even like a stencil kind of vibe going on the B. But yeah, I really like that. It's kind of got like a speedy feel to it as well. So that's pretty cool. I'm loving that. I'm loving that. Well done. Now on to the next one, right? Let's see. So I don't know how other people approach this. Because I'm not really like sketching and doing this. I'm like trying to think of how we best draw. A translation one here. I don't think, do I have... I do have ad extremes, alright. I can't say that I've drawn a translation typeface this way before, but at least the concept or the idea behind this has kind of been in the back of my mind. I also just realized too, it's not really a script, it's just something that's by default. It does kind of make things a little bit easier though, yeah. Kind of debating if that was enough contrast or not. I'm gonna undo all of these and hope that glyphs doesn't crash on me. Doesn't look like it will though. Actually gonna be a little bit methodical this time too. Let's do 10 degrees. Add extremes. We'll see where that takes things here. Oops. There we go. It does kind of feel a little bit lumpy too. But we'll just kind of clean this up the best that we can. Maybe that just kind of gets us sort of started, I guess. Yeah, I'm just not feeling this though. Guys, again, for some reason, it didn't want to give me a width. 700, 730. Oops, not everything though. Make sure I'm not drawing more shapes than I need. There we go. We got there. And we'll just get this there. Now we'll just center both of these. Do all of that. I wonder if this is probably just an easier way to go about it. And then something like that. I am kind of... I'm trying to cheat my way through this a little bit, but it may not work that way. Who knows? I do tend to hit the struggle bus with expansion. I will acknowledge that. Let's see though, a couple things I can kind of keep in mind. I think we can kind of do like a flip and rotate thing. Should all snap together nice. Just try and smooth it out a little bit more so it kind of looks like I'm doing that on purpose. Give it a little bit more height as well, which in turn is mostly just more contrast, but maybe something like that is kind of what we roll with here. I guess kind of with that out of the way, if I was doing this in a regular typeface, oh no would be what I would be drawing. Of course we don't have oh no. So we'll just kind of figure this out as we go. See, that was 170, this is 160, 155, maybe I want to do 155. Also we're going to kind of space this just a little bit more. Oops, I don't want 45 there yet, that's a little presumptuous of me. Let's see. Just to kind of feel out a size to some. That's 220 there for the space. What was this? Not quite smooth connection yet. That was 350. I'm going to start with something like this for now, and we'll see where this kind of takes us. Let's see, next step. Kind of see possibly about doing maybe a straight leg for this. Do something a little bit different from what I would normally do. Maybe something like that. Something like that. What are we at? 116, 125. Okay, I wasn't too far off on my guesses there anyway. Oh, it's 102. 125. So this needs to get smaller. It's 122. 238. If it wants to give it to me, it does not. Just type it in. Make it work. Did I math right then? 125 and 125. And you're 125, so we're consistent now. Good. So we'll get that to kind of snap over there. That to snap there. And we'll kind of see where this leads us. Anyone else in chat giving this recipe a go right now or not? Everyone else kind of taking a break? Actually, for the sake of making things fun, I don't know if I mind having that kind of come down a little bit like that. I suppose it helps to put a big curve. Ink fast and vector. Yes. That almost seems like it'd be a good t-shirt. If you're into type cookers, ink fast and vector. Could be fun. I will say it's a little more relaxed when I don't have a timer running, that's for sure. Maybe I'm onto something with this, but it definitely feels a little wide. We keep it there. Looks like that got... Maybe something a little bit more like that. Kind of thinking too. Actually, I don't know how that got in there. There we go. Kind of wondering if I'm gonna take a similar approach. Maybe this makes more sense. Similar how you'd have this taper off in a B. I probably should have designed it this way from the start, and I didn't. I think that kind of helps with a few of these curves here. I'll just make that a corner instead of a round. I have to imagine my vector paths here probably leaving something to be desired, but it's fine. Oops. But my hope with all of this is that the way this kind of joins in looks a little bit neater. Actually, maybe we give this just a little bit of an angle too. Just to keep the visual interest up. So that does look a little wide. Maybe I've just kind of nudge that in a little bit more. Somehow lost an R along the way there. There we are. Get that added back in. I think again, just trying to think with expansion. Kryptonite, as it were. Maybe doing something like that's a little bit nicer. Kind of has a better resolution to it. And I suppose I should acknowledge as well, if I was sketching this, I probably could think it out a little bit quicker, but I think something like that works. Bump that up to 39. Yeah, we'll roll with that. And since we were kind of thinking about this sort of stuff, I think I can get an angled letter here in pretty quick, so we'll go ahead and do that. And then just figure out a way to add some contrast, which and also probably taper as well. Yeah, maybe... Actually, I just realized if I'm going to do it that way, I should probably just... Maybe we flip it, and that kind of works a little bit better, because then I can take this. Ultimately, that kind of becomes my thick. And that becomes the thin. And it gets a little wider at top too, but I think that's okay. Expansion letters, they get you. It looks like that could use a good bit of negative space there. That's kind of looking okay. Maybe a little more. I have to be honest, I'm not really used to using the spacing to kern. It's just quicker. Yeah, not looking terrible. Alright, and then the S. How do we want to deal with the S? Can I maybe borrow some parts here? Is that the best way to do this? Bring it home? Actually, I might drop the O in the background. Do it this way instead. Because I'm kind of thinking, so we'll have kind of our main point there. Probably comes out to something like there, down to there. And I'm deciding we're going to make this an open aperture for reasons. So we'll kind of get a skeleton of sorts like that. Thinking about where to start here. Just gonna kind of pick up a spot and go for it. I think that's close to the extreme there. And it's just going to be a matter of getting this curve to kind of do what we want. I think it's possible. I've also started this out a little on the wide side too. So we'll kind of see where that takes us, but maybe we do something like that. Actually, I might even just focus on the top half of the letter for now, as this starts to become more obvious. see something like that. And then once I delete all the points I want to delete, not to that step yet. All right, fine for now, I think, while we work out the symmetry of this. Also, just gonna give myself kudos because I think it may have been a good idea to just effectively design 4 letters for this one. This is gonna be a challenge, but honestly, that's what's making this fun right now. So. Continue going with this. So what we're going to want to do is kind of narrow up the top somehow. Alright. Might not be the lost cause I thought it was going to be when I started drawing this. I mean, it's definitely going to need some help, so we're just going to acknowledge that, but I think we can take that O out of the background. What does that? Oh, that does. That sorted as well. Let's see here. Just try and make this as simple as we can for the moment. Take all of this. I don't know, I think we might be getting somewhere with this. I may not feel that way in a moment, but we'll see what happens. Just out of curiosity, did anybody else in chat use sorry for their word? Is anyone else going through the pain of drawing an S too? You did do sorry, yeah. Yeah, I feel like I've done a lot of tutorials myself, like learning from other people how to draw S's. I've taught other people how to draw S's. I mean, really, I think we all know that the best way to get better at drawing them is practice. But it never feels that way when you're trying to figure this out. I feel like there's always something about every single design that I do that that has me going back and questioning if I can actually draw an S or not. Especially if I'm doing it on the fly like this. To be fair, I'm also kind of leaning a bit on the fit curve tool as I said I would, so that is a factor as well, I'm sure. Try and get that straight up and down too. I'd say the tough part is every time you think you have one angle figured out, a bunch more just break. Maybe that's the better way to do it. Something like that. I mean, it's not terrible. Also, this is a type cooker, not a full-fledged font, so I probably don't need to be putting this much time into it, but yeah, I think we'll call it there. Again, I probably could keep working on this and keep perfecting it, but for a type cooker, I think something like that's fairly decent. The R is a little bit different than what I normally would do, but I mean, it's not terrible. I was debating while I was drawing this about just having a straight-legged R, but I think the thing when I do type cookers personally is I always like to try and throw some sort of curveball at myself or challenge myself to draw a letter in a certain kind of way or a different kind of way. I think that's what makes it fun, is that there's no pressure of you know, thinking this through to an entire typeface. I can kind of, I don't know, just be a little different. I keep telling myself that there's new ideas that come out of this stuff too, so I know, at least in my Typewise cohort, we always kind of joked about the wine cellar, that you go through and you do a type cooker and you make mistakes, you try out new ideas, that kind of thing, but then you put it in a wine cellar, if you will, and you just kind of let the idea mature for a little bit. Maybe it just needs some time to kind of sort itself out. You come back to it a week or a month or a year later or something, and maybe you get something out of it that you didn't think about at the time. At least that's the idea. So yeah, I know we're coming kind of up to the top of the hour here. I think we had three pretty solid type cookers here. And I will say, it seemed like it was pretty fun. I'm kind of thinking of doing more of these, so I don't know what everyone's thoughts are on that. I'm open to the idea. But it is a little bit, it's a bit more different than, I know in the past, usually it's me kind of, you know, drawing on some letters or whatever, and we just kind of chit-chat about type. I think that's fun as well, but you know, kind of in this digital space, I'm always looking for ways to make it a little bit more interactive or a little bit more fun, maybe something a little bit different. I know there was a few people who had mentioned the time, which I know, you know, afternoon, evening, Pacific time doesn't always work well kind of across the rest of the world, so maybe we look at doing a weekend or something like that where I can do early morning my time, local time, and Maybe it gets a few more people on. I think it would be kind of fun to do. But, yeah, I'll go ahead and kind of see if I can get all of these on screen here that we did earlier today. I think there was one more hiding somewhere here. Gotta go and find it. There we go. Yeah, hopefully everyone had a good time. Maybe you got an idea or two for yourself out of this. I don't know if I can make these much bigger, but there we go. Guess that kind of works. Yeah, that was pretty good. I don't know if any of these really have much interest to me to become a typeface. I do kind of like where the serif style was going there. I think that was a challenge with the components. But it was kind of nice to do a couple sans serifs too. Aside from streaming, I hadn't been doing a whole lot of sans serif stuff lately, so but yeah, a lot of fun. So I think I am going to probably go ahead and wrap things up here. And if you are watching this even later on and you were kind of following along, maybe you were sketching something along the way, watching the replay here, definitely feel free to share it somewhere, tag me. Instagram's usually where I'm at the most. If I can, I will try and share these on stories as well, because I know people just like being able to do that. But yeah, I think we might have to do some more of these later on. So, as always, huge thanks to everyone who came out for the live stream today. And as always, we will catch you next time.